Hi.
Hey, are we all just hanging out?
Yeah. I'm waiting for 3:45 and I can get started.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I'm just gonna lurk. Here,
Okay.
how did the morning lab go?
It's good. So I have one student, so it's basically 1-to-1 instructions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I'll be in the background here. Just 1 second. I have another meeting at 4, so I'll just be
Okay. Okay, so it's 3:45, so I think we can just get started. So for today's lab, we're going to finish the second part of our lab 1. So for the last week, we finished the Excel summary statistic part and also the pivot table part of lab 1. And in this lab, we're going to map our data using ArcGIS Online. So now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, now everyone should see my web browser. So now my web browser is in our lab 1 tutorial, and I'm gonna follow my demonstration using this tutorial. So first, as I said, our goal for today's lab is mapping the data on ArcGIS Online. So, and everyone already registered their account last week. So I want everyone just go to ArcGIS Online, just search ArcGIS Online, go to the website and sign in. The sign in button is on the upper right part. And then just sign in. Once you sign in, you should see there are different options in the ArcGIS Online web page. And if you click the map link, it will bring you to the empty map canvas that we're going to work on our own web mapping. I'll give everyone like 30 seconds to finish this step. Okay, now I assume everyone is already registered and logged into ArcGIS Online. And now so now you see in this interface is an empty map canvas. We don't have our data yet. So the first thing we need to do is add our data. And here, if you go back to the tutorial, actually Dr. Shen already provided a link on a help document on how to upload different layers or data to ArcGIS Online. And here in our lab 1, we're going to add layer from file because the file is already in our local disk. So basically, we just click the drop-down menu of add, and then we go to add layer from file. Once you click that, you should see this add layer from file window popped up. And here, click the button for choose file. And then you should go to your own folder that you stored your data. And one difference from ArcGIS Online and QGIS that if we want to add a shapefile to QGIS, we need to unzip the zipped folder of this shapefile, and only when we add the layer, we actually click the layer of the .shp file. But here in ArcGIS Online, for shapefile, you can just import the layer from the whole zip folder. You do not need to unzip the folder. You just click the zipped folder of your shape file, and then you can import that layer to ArcGIS Online. So here we click the zipped folder, not the unzipped one, and click open. And here we can just leave this as default. And then we click import layer. And we just wait for it to process the layer. Okay. Once it's done, you should see our data, and you should see it's zoomed into the word map level. For this lab, we're only focused on the 48 states of the continental US. So first, we need to zoom into our study area. So just zoom in to only the continental US. Okay. And here, after you import the layer and zoom in, on the left side, ArcGIS Online automatically try to style your data. So it automatically choose the first column in your attribute table to style your data. So in this case, they choose name. But this doesn't make any sense for our for this data if we style it based on name. For this specific assignment, we're going to use PRCP variable. So if you go back to your tutorial, you want the PRCP variable. So in your own map, here from the drop-down menu, you need to choose PRCP. But for me, it's just for demonstration. So I'm going to choose another variable, the T-bin variable, which is the minimum average temperature. But here, in your own submission, your own deliverable, you need to choose the precipitation, the PRCP variable. Once you choose the variable, it also changes your drawing style. So it automatically check the counts and amounts color. So that's exactly what we want. So if we check that, we're going to make a color class map. But we ArcGIS Online also provide you other options. So we can actually style the data based on size, on different size and different symbols. But here we just need the color. We're just gonna style the variable using color. And now we need to click the options. So click options. Once you click the options, we actually we have more options to do with this variable. So first, you can actually divide that variable by some other variable. In this case, we'll just leave it as none, but sometimes in your own project, you might want to like standardize your data, normalize your data. So you can divide your variable by another variable. And we have different theme, color theme. You have high to low, above and below, centered on extremes. Here we just leave it as it is, use the high to low. And for the color scheme, you can change the symbols. If you click the symbols, we have many different color schemes. Automatically, it uses this blue color scheme. You can change it to like red, pink, or whatever you think it is suitable for your variable. Here also, you can change your transparency. So once you choose your preferred color scheme symbols, just click OK. Also, you can invert your color. So for now, the color scheme is from dark red to a light color. If you invert, it will go from the light color to the red. I will put it back. And also here, on the color scheme bar, it has we can see we have two breaks for our variable. So one is -11 and one was 0, and they break the counties into 3 groups and with different color. And also here you can see they have like a vertical histogram of this variable. So it gives you the distribution of this data variable. And from this distribution, you can tell whether the data is skewed or not, whether it's positively skewed or negatively skewed. And then we're going to classify our data. So if we go back to our tutorial, we want to create a map that breaks the data into 5 classes using a manual classification scheme. And we want the breaks for these classes to be first quartile value, and the second break is median. The third break is the third quartile value. And the fourth break is value that defines the upper outlier. So here we go back to our ArcGIS Online. To do that, we will check the box before classify data. So it's here. Check that box. Once you check that box, it gives you several options. So first is the classification scheme. So if you click the first drop-down menu, ArcGIS Online actually provides you many different classification schemes. We have natural breaks, equal interval, quantile, or manual breaks. And for this lab assignment, we're going to manually input our breaks. So we will choose manual breaks for this case. Click manual breaks. And we will, according to the assignment tutorial, we are going to break the data into 5 groups with 4 breaks value. So we're going to change the classes to 5. So you'll just add the value of classes to 5. Now we go back to this color scheme bar. Here there is actually two ways you can change you can manually input your color scheme. One is you can just slide the bar. Slide it, but that's not really convenient. For this specific case, we can just click the numeric value and type in our specific breaks. And now we can go back to our tutorial and see what breaks we need. And here you might want to bring up the Excel spreadsheet that you have for your first lab, for your first part of this lab. So basically, the first break is the first quartile value, and then median, and then third quartile value, and then the upper outlier threshold. So we're going to find the corresponding value. So we have first quartile, median, third quartile, and upper outlier, and then we're going to input those to our ArcGIS Online. So here we can type in from the largest to the lowest. So the first is the upper outlier threshold. Mine is 11.55. So you just click that and input 11.59. And then the second is the third quartile. The second largest is the third quartile value. So it's minus 1.28. Okay, and then the third largest is the median, so it's minus 5.54. And then the smallest is the first quartile, so it's minus 9.83. And then you just hit enter. Now we have successfully typed in our own manual breaks, classification breaks. And now you can, so if you see from the map legend, it actually breaks the value based on the breaks you input. Here we also have, you also have options for round classes. So basically it's the precision. You can choose whatever you want, maybe 0.0, 0.1 or 0.01, whatever you want. And now we just click OK. So now we've successfully styled the data. So we are making a choroplast map. We break the data into 5 different groups with the manual breaks we input. Click OK and click Done. Now it go back to the content, and you should see your map here. So for that part, any questions? So you can tell me if you have any questions, or am I too fast, or?
No, it's perfect, because I was confused about the how to do the breaks at first, but like you answered pretty much all my questions, so thank you.
Okay. Okay, great. So now I assume everyone is on the same page as mine. Now we're going to add in the pop-ups. So one good thing about web mapping is that we can make it interactive. So compared to static map, on this online map, we can zoom in, zoom out, and we can click on features, and it will give us pop-ups. So this is a pop-ups for the map data we have, but now it includes almost all the variables we have in this data, and it's really messy, so we don't want that. In the tutorial, we want to customize our pop-ups and only show 4 variables that's shown in the screenshot. So we only want county name variable, state, region, and PRCP variable. That's the only 4 variable that we want to show in our pop-ups. So to do that, we will go back to our ArcGIS Online. And on the contents, you can see your data, your layer, DayMat 2015 map. And you click the 3 dots. That's the More Options button. Once you click the 3 dots, you can see different options, and we're going to click Configure Pop-up. So that's the place we can customize our pop-up. So click Configure Pop-up. Once you click the Configure Pop-up, it brings you to this window. And the first is the pop-up title. So now automatically it puts name as the pop-up title. That's okay. But if you want to change to other column or other variable, you can click the plus button on the right. And for example, if you want to use PRCP variable as the pop-up title, you can just input the bracket and the PRCP and close the bracket. But now I will just leave it as it is. And then it's the pop-up contents. So in the pop-up contents, you can customize which variable or which field you want to show in the pop-ups. So here we're going to do that, and we're going to click the Configure Attributes link. So click Configure Attributes link. Once you click that, it brings you to this window. So this window allows you to check the fields you want to display and edit, and select a field to change it, alias, order it, and format it. So for this specific lab, we're only focused on the display part and the field alias part. So we want to check only those. We will only check those 4 variables shown in the screenshot, and we will change their alias. So to do that, now all the variable is checked, and we don't want that. So we will check the box before display, and then we uncheck all of them. So now none of the fields, none of the variable is checked for display, and now we're going to find the specific variable we want. So if you scroll down, we want state variable, we want region variable, and you check the box for display. And then for my case, I'm using the tmean variable. So I'm going to check the box for tmean variable, and also the county name variable. But for your case, you should check check the display box for exactly the same variables as shown in the screenshot. So you should check the PRCP instead of the tmean. So county name, state, region, and PRCP. And you can also see from this screenshot that the order of these 4 variables is actually county name, state, region, and precipitation. So we also need to change the order of our 4 variables. So state and region is the same. So to change the order, you can select the variable, and then here we have move up and move down button. So if you click move up, it will move up the variable, and if you keep, you can just keep clicking, so it will move up and move down. So now we want the variable to place up. We want to place that variable after the region, and in your case, it should be PRCP. And now we're going to put the county name variable before our state variable. Okay, so that's it. Now you just move your variables in the correct order shown in the screenshot. So county name, state, region, and teaming, and yours should be PRCP. And now we're going to change the field allies. If you're going to show your web map to other audience, they might not familiar with the data set, and they have no idea what is CTY_name and what is teaming or what is PRCP. So you need to change the county name to a more clear text. So here in the screenshot, we need to change the CTY name to county name, and we need to change the PRCP to precip January 2015. So in this case, you can just click that cell under field allies and just type in the correct ally. And state we can leave it as it is. Region, leave it as it is. And teaming, something like that. Once you are done with your variable allies, click OK. Click OK, and here click OK again. Now it goes back to the table of contents, and now you can test whether your pop-ups are correctly configured. So you can just click any county. Okay, so now I click this county. It's Swisher County, and you can see it's in Texas state. The region is South region, and my teaming variable is -4.74 Celsius. And here you should, in your case, it's the precipitation variable. So it should only show these 4 variables that we just configured. And that's the configure the pop-ups part. And if you are here, now you almost finished your web map. And now all we need to do is save our map. So zoom back to the 48 states. Sorry, okay. So now we're going to save this map. So to save this map, click the save button. It's in the upper middle part. Click save. After you click the save, it asks you to input title, text, summary, and that's the 3 places you need to input. So if you go back to lab assignment, in the assignment, it asks you to put this title. You need, for the precipitation variable, you need to put, for the title, you need to put monthly precipitation millimeter, January 2015. So you can just copy that title and go to our ArcGIS Online and paste that here. And for the text, it doesn't really matter what text you put. So for this case, you can just put GOG 2011 underscore 420. And then you just hit enter. So that's the tag. And for summary, in the summary part, you need to give a description of the map. And in your in the tutorial, it asks you to write 1 or 2 sentences description of the map content that gives the variable shown, data source, date, and the area for this map. So the variable shown is the precipitation variable, and the data source is the NASA map data. And the date is January 2015, and the area for this map is the continental US. So basically just put those information into 1 or 2 sentences and input it here. Once you input the summaries, that is the summary description here, you can save the map. So just click Save Map. Once you click the Save Map, you can see on the upper left part that your map title is exactly what you inputted, right? It should be monthly precipitation millimeter, January 2015. And if you still want to change the title, you can click this little pen. It can edit the map title. So now we've successfully saved the map. And one last thing for this map is to share the map to the public, because finally in the map deliverables, we are going to give me the link of this map so I can grade it. I can see your map and grade it. But to do that, you want to share the map to the public. If you're not sharing your map to the public, I cannot access it and I cannot see it. So to do that, we're going to click the share button in the middle. So first, choose who can view this map. Currently, only you can view your map. Before you can link to it or embed it, you need to allow others to view your map. So basically, if you want me to be able to see your map, you need to check the box before everyone. So just check it here. Once you check the box, whoever with the link can access the map. So check the box, make sure you check the box. And then here, it has this link to this map. You remember to copy this link and paste it to your own deliverable document. So remember to copy this link. Yeah, and once you make it share to everyone and copy the link, you are done with this map. And also you're done with our Lab1. Now, if we go back to our lab deliverables, we have 5 questions. The first is copy and paste your pivot table from Excel. So that's the first part of our Lab1, and that's what we did last week. And make sure you copy and paste your pivot table. And the second, you need to provide the URL of your map on ArcOnline. And so that's the link we just copied from the share button. So paste the link, and also make sure that the map should include all US counties showing monthly precipitation as described above. So make sure you have the correct variables, which is precipitation variable, and the correct classification for the PRCP variable. So that should be the manual classification with first quartile, medium, third quartile, and upper outlier threshold. And also pop-ups should also be set up as described above. So basically, you should have exactly the same pop-up configuration as shown in this screenshot. And then you should check the box under Share for public access. That's for question number 2. And for question number 3, is the precipitation variable skewed at all? How can you tell? So for this question, you actually have 2 ways to identify the skewness of the data. So one is from the map. Remember in our map when we set when we do the color scheme and the classification is in the change style part. As is in the option. We have this histogram, so you can actually tell whether your variable is skewed or not from the histogram from the data distribution, or you can tell the skewness from the relationship between mean and median. So that's for question 3. And for question 4, your map adapts a quantile classification for this data. So our manually input classification is not exactly quantile, but since we're using first quartile, median, and third quartile, those values, it's similar to quantile classification. And you need to pick one of the alternative classification schemes listed in the mentioned reading, and in your own words, explain how the scheme is different from the one you used from this map. So basically, everyone read the mentioned reading, and it's introduced other different classification scheme. You need to pick another one, for example, equal interval or natural breaks, and explain how that scheme is different from the one that we used in this map. And the last question, what one finding or pattern you identify through this analysis that you found interesting or surprising? Explain your answer using specific evidence from the map or data. So here we, this is the map, and from this map you can see some clear general pattern. For example, you can see the pattern of the West Coast, or this is the general pattern, or you can just choose some to talk about some specific states, for example, some specific counties that stand out from other nearby counties. So just basically from this map, find some interesting parts or interesting patterns you see and explain it in your own words. That's question number 5. And that's it. That's all for Lab 1. And also, Dr. Shannon announced that the deadline for Lab have moved. We have moved all the deadlines for Lab to the end of Sunday. So Sunday at 5 p.m. So it's no longer due at 5 p.m. So you have more time to finish on this Lab. Okay. And that's it. That's all I want to talk about for today. Any questions?
No, thank you.